All right, what up, though, and welcome back to Detroit Sports Report. Another Lions game is in the book, so let's talk about it. I guess. I mean, if that's what we got to do, I guess we have to, man. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever. Let's just get through this video, okay? I hate making these just as much as we hate listening to these, so let's run through it. Detroit fell to Minnesota today, 34-20. They did not look good at all. And honestly, it's just the same old, same old. I mean, Kirk Cousins, they picked the defense apart with the play action. DALVIN Cook absolutely destroyed the Lions on the ground with 22 rushes, 206 yards for 2 touchdowns. And I mean, damn, this is Matt Patricia's 5th straight loss against the Minnesota Vikings. Let's take one step further. This is Matt Patricia's 5th straight loss to the Minnesota Vikings by double digits. He just ain't getting it done. Okay, and listen, don't even stop there, because under Matt Patricia's tenure here in Detroit, he hasn't even won a division game at all this year, number one. Number two, he has not won a division game in the NFC North since December of 2018. We're in November. That's almost 2 straight years that he hasn't even won a division game. And the division games, these are the teams that you know the most. These are the teams you play the most. You play each division team 2 times each every year. So you got to know all their tendencies, their game plans, their coaching, their players. And these are the teams, like I said, you know the most. I mean, you can't even get a win against your own division, at least here and there. 2 straight years, no division wins. That comes down to bad coaching, because that lets you know that this coaching staff, Patricia leads the coaching staff, and he's not having his team prepared. They're just not prepared. And you looked at this game today, and they just did not look prepared. Okay, so that's just, like I said, it comes down to coaching, bad coaching. Everybody knows it, because I'm looking at the comments all over social media. Everybody wants Matt Patricia to be fired tomorrow. They want Stafford to be benched. So, I mean, listen, tell me in the comments, what do you think? Should Stafford be benched? Should Patricia be fired? I mean, yeah, let's talk about it and let me know what you think, because like I said, hey, listen, and speaking of bad coaching, don't stop now. Let's keep going, because we're going to talk about this bad coaching. Do you realize that on that 70-yard touchdown today, DALVIN Cook had a 70-yard touchdown? We had 10 men on the field. 10 men on the field. And this is coming after last week against the Colts, when we had 2 separate times when we had 10 men on the field. So that comes down to coaching, because you didn't fix it from last week. It happened last week 2 times. That's bad enough. And then we come here this week, and again, it happens again. And that's just coaching. That's bad coaching. And honestly, it's reaching a point where it's just unacceptable. I'm not the guy that likes to come on and call for people's job and say bench players and do this, but it's coming to that point, because Patricia, he just doesn't bring anything to the table. And we've had a big enough sample size now to realize that. And honestly, I don't know what to do, because the thing is like Sheila Ford, I just feel like they're comfortable with him, and they're not going to make a change. They're just going to keep, like I said, the same old, okay? And the thing is, and this is what I want to talk about, because the thing is I don't understand it, because Patricia comes from the Bill Belichick coaching tree. And, Belichick, he's a stickler for details. Over the span of 2 weeks, having 3 calls for 10 men on the field, there's no way. You can go check the whole history of the New England Patriots. I guarantee it's never happened. So to have a guy come from that coaching tree here to Detroit, and now this is what's happening, like I said, it's just unacceptable, man. And like I said, I don't understand, how do you come from New England under Belichick for all those years? And one thing I know about Bill Belichick, right? He is the type that he's going to be prepared. He's going to have his team prepared. And week after week, what he's doing is he's looking for that team, whoever he's playing that week, he's looking for that team's best player. And his main motto is, I'm not letting that guy beat me. Okay? I'm not going to let that guy beat me. Do what you got to do outside of that, but I'm not letting that guy beat me. And that works. That's been working for him for a long time. So, Patricia, don't you think you should pick some things up from your ex-coach, who is arguably the greatest coach of all time? Don't you think you should pick up something? And I think you should have been looking through the whole weekend to say, you know what, Minnesota Vikings, let's identify their best player. Oh, there he is, DALVIN Cook, their running back. He just ran over 200-something yards. He had 3 or 4 touchdowns last week. You know what? I'm going to make sure whatever I do, I'm going to double team, triple team, put all my personnel focused on that guy. And I'm not going to let that guy beat me. Yet, what do we have? 22 rushes, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 46 yards receiving as well. And he was killing us all day. And what does that do? That sets up that play action that I was talking about earlier. And Kirk Cousins was killing us on the play action all day, because we couldn't stop DALVIN Cook. So, I mean, like I said, I would have rather contained DALVIN Cook, double, triple team, do what I got to do, put a spy on him all day. And the spy can't be a 265-pound guy, Jamie Collins. You got to get one of these light, fast guys, a cornerback, to spy DALVIN Cook all day, because that's what he was doing in the first half all day. He was killing. And credit to Minnesota and their coaching staff, because they kept putting DALVIN Cook in these positions where he would be matched up against Jamie Collins. And Jamie Collins has nothing for him. He was killing them all day. And why you didn't make the adjustments to put a faster guy on him to stop him? I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I just don't understand it, because you would think he would pick something up from his mentor, but he didn't do anything to stop that. That man dominated the Lions today on the ground, and it is what it is. I mean, the defense, they showed some improvement over a 2-game stretch against Jacksonville, Atlanta, and what that did, they gave us a false sense of confidence. And what ended up happening because of that, we go into the trade deadline and we think like we're about to turn the corner, and we were sellers instead of buyers. And now we're looking back in hindsight after losing, getting blew out by Indianapolis and then getting blew out by Minnesota. It's like, yo, did we make the right decision? No, we did not. Maybe we should have been maybe we should have been sellers at the deadline. Maybe we should have converted some of these players into some draft picks. And, like I said at the beginning, I hate making these videos because there's nothing positive to grab out these videos. I mean, what do you want? The positive are special teams. We got 2 block punts. That was awesome. We had 2 block punts, and we had a block punt last week. And it was like some historical, it was the first time it was been done since I don't know when, whatever. But that's the only positive that we can draw out of this. I don't know. It just, defense did not look good. Offense was, Stafford was real, he was consistent in the first half. I believe he only had like 2 incompletions in the first half. Second half, obviously that changed because he did throw 2 interceptions, and he ended up going out in the fourth quarter, as we all know, with the concussion protocol. They had to go test him for a concussion, so he never returned. That brought Chase Daniels in. So let's go over some stats real quick of the game. I mean, we might as well get to that, So Detroit Lions, Stafford, before he left in the fourth quarter, like I said, he was 23 of 32, 211 yards and a touchdown. 2 interceptions. And those 2 interceptions were like in such a big part of the game, because this was a point where we could have marched down and really cut the deficit into like single digits and could have really put us back in the game. But 2 interceptions, and they were just killers, because one of the interceptions was in the end zone. And anytime you throw an interception in the end zone, that's always a killer. So yeah, it happened again. All right, anyway, DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 64 yards. Still not enough carries for me. Adrian Peterson, he had 8 carries for 29 yards. Adrian Peterson is still starting the games. Why they don't make that adjustment and start the younger, fresher, more agile, more speedy, faster guy, younger guy, DeAndre Swift? I don't know. Whatever. That's what it is. On the receiving end, Danny Amendola had 7 catches, 77 yards. That led the team as far as yards go. Marvin Jones Jr., he had 3 catches, 43 yards, and the touchdown. That touchdown was really impressive. He caught the ball, had a guy, spun off him, dove into the end zone. That was really impressive. TJ Hawkinson, 5 catches, 39 yards, a touchdown. What do we got? We got Kerryon Johnson. He had 3 catches out the backfield for 36 yards. Quintez Cephas finally got some little action, 2 catches, 31 yards. And Marvin Hall, 3 for 28. A couple other guys, really not much to talk about. The backup quarterback, Chase Daniels, he came in 8 passes. He was 8 out of 13, 94 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Detroit's defense, 0 interceptions, 1 sack. Not much to talk about. Minnesota's defense. We'll get into Minnesota's numbers as well. Minnesota's numbers, we can get into that. Kirk Cousins was 13 for 20, very efficient, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns. Delvin Cook, as we already talked about, 22 rushes, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. The rookie Justin Jefferson, 3 catches for 64 yards. He was looking good. Delvin Cook had 2 catches for 46 yards as well. Smith Jr. had 2 catches, 10 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adam Thielen, 2 catches for 38 yards. Amir Abdullah, you remember that guy? Used to be in a Lions uniform. He had a big touchdown against us, a 22-yard touchdown play. It was good to see him do his thing. He was in the Lions uniform before. Yeah, and their defense, like I said, they had 3 interceptions, 2 sacks. We were just dominated. It didn't look like we were well prepared. We didn't come out with a fire. We didn't play. This was the first game of the year where we didn't score first. They scored on their opening drive. And we weren't looking good, man. We just didn't look good. And I hate to say it, but we didn't. So, yeah, we're to that point. We got to start talking. Should we fire this coach? Should we bench Stafford? Because that's something I'm really interested to see and hear what people think. Should Stafford be benched? Because, like I said, he was efficient, especially in the first half. Like I said, only 2 incompletions. But when the game is on the line, when it really counts the most, 2 interceptions. You're a veteran. You're better than that. I don't expect that from you. And he should have put us right back in this game. And he could have brought us back in the game. But instead, he gave the game away with 2 interceptions. And then he got hurt. And I don't know. They gave us a chance to see the backup quarterback, Chase Daniels, though. You already know what you're getting with that. That's not a starting quarterback. At this point, we would have to draft a quarterback in the next year's draft. That's the only option. So should we sit Stafford I don't see that. I don't agree with that. You have to finish the year out. Now, should we draft a quarterback, his replacement in this draft? Yeah, you got to look for that unless you find something in free agency. But to bench him for the rest of the year, it's not going to make sense unless you want to tank. Now, if you want to tank, lose as many games as you can and get your best pick, get your best draft pick that you can get, then hey, that's a conversation. If that's the case, if that's what we want to see, then yeah, bench him. But if you're trying to win some games down the stretch and do your thing, he's the best option. He's the best option on this team right now. I mean, for whatever that's worth. But other than that, the coaching staff, they got to go. They have to. He's bringing nothing to the table. He's not making good adjustments. I mean, the biggest adjustment he made was on our first possession, the first play of the game, instead of, because we know what the script's been the whole year, hand it off to Adrian Peterson, hand it off to AP, then third down pass, and usually that results in a sack or some, But we went deep down the field. We tried to catch him sleeping and go deep down the field with our first play of the game. That was different. But after that, we just fell back. We just fell right back into our old habits. So I don't know. I'm just, I don't mind losing because you're not going to win every game in the season. We know that. But when you're looking as bad as we're looking, and it's just not competitive, they're not close games, and it's just something's got to change. And I hate to say it, but that coaching staff starts there. In the quarterback position, we need a new quarterback, man. Or we need to bring this guy back, Barry Sanders. They might look backwards on camera, I don't know, but that's that old school Barry Sanders jersey, But I don't know, And that's another thing we do need to do. We got to start DeAndre Swift in the backfield because you just have to. I mean, let me tell you a little story. Adrian Peterson, when he left Minnesota, he got signed by New Orleans Saints. Now, New Orleans Saints brought him in because they're like, yo, he can really help us. But they had a rookie. Oh, yeah, the more that Sean Payton saw this young guy, he said, wait a minute, this guy is balling. He's improving every week. No. He said, yo, he's going to be a beast. So Adrian Peterson, I'm sorry, we brought you over here. I told you were going to get a lot of snaps. You were going to start. But I got to go back on that because I got to put the best product out on the field for my team. Speaking of the Saints and Sean Payton, he said, this guy right here is going to be a beast. And he was giving him the playing time. And this guy was, what's his name? Alvin Kamara. So Adrian Peterson, he complained, asked for a trade. And yeah, they traded him, got him up out of there. But Detroit, they probably made him the same promise. Yeah, come on over here, AP. We're going to let you start, give you some playing time. But at this point, I'm sorry, AP, but I got a young stud. I got to let him develop because he's a beast. He's faster than you, younger than you, more explosive. I got to start this guy. I got to give him the ball 20 times a game. And that's DeAndre Swift. So I feel like that's something they got to do. They got to make that change. Start DeAndre Swift. Give him 20-plus carries every game. Bring Peterson on third and short plays, goal line situations. He can still help you, but he's just not a starter. It's just what it is. But that's just something small, a small adjustment that needs to be made, and everything else is what it is. So that's pretty much it. I thank you guys for tuning in. I know I know it don't feel good sitting here having to go over this game, but I appreciate you guys tuning in, tapping in. Hit that like button, subscribe button, do all that, and yeah, we got some things to talk about Detroit. And the good thing is we play Washington next week. I guess that's a silver lining. We'll see what happens there. So, all right, thanks for tuning in, tapping in. There's not really much to talk about here. This kind of sucks, but I feel your pain, Detroit Lions fans. I feel your pain. But tell me, you got to let me know. What do you think? What do you think are the biggest changes we need to make as an organization right now moving forward, man? Give me your thoughts, your input, and I'm going to holler back. Detroit Sports Report.